Hello, my name is Emmy Okulis, and welcome to book critique number 7. The book I chose to feature this week is The Adventures of Beagle, the Unimaginary Friend. This book was written and illustrated by Dan Santat. The genre of this book is a picture book, and the recommended grades for this book are preschool through first grade. So the basic outline of this book is about the imaginary friend named Beagle. He travels all around New York City trying to find his friend, but he comes up a little short and he ends up being pretty lonely. But it does end on a happy note, and Beagle does find his perfect match, his perfect friend. So the two activities I chose for this book are an English activity and a social studies activity. For the English activity, I would split the class up, and I would have half of them write a response in 3 to 5 sentences to the question, what does it mean to be a good friend? And the other half of the students would write a response on what does it mean to be a bad friend. And hopefully they can use some of the information they learned in the book about the different things that Beagle does end up doing with the friend that he does make, and then different things that happen to Beagle that maybe are characteristics of a bad friend. So students would write these responses, and then we would compile them together as a class, and we would create a YouTube video about their responses. So I would have the students act out different characteristics they thought of when they would have, if you were a good friend or if you were a bad friend. So we would compile this video together, and we would post it to YouTube. And this video wouldn't just sit there. We would share it with the rest of the school, sharing with them what it means to be a good friend, what our class had come up with of what it means to be a good friend. And I would also love to share this with other schools and kind of get their different opinions on what it means to be a good friend. And I think my students would really benefit from that. So then the social studies activity I chose was what if Beagle were to come to their town and he were to explore, where would he go? So this is kind of just giving students first an opportunity to explore their towns and to learn more about the different places, but also to kind of learn the geography of their towns a little bit. And they're kind of going to have to map out the different directions and which direction that Beagle's going when he's at these different places. So to use this, for this activity, students are going to use Scribble Maps. And this is just an example that I created for my town. So Scribble Maps is a really easy and very easy to use and very interactive website. It just takes Google Maps, and then it has this just editability to Google Maps. So you can just add different locations. So students would have to create 5 locations that Beagle would go and then map them out by like just creating the lines, connecting the little dots in a sense. And then I would also have students write down where the first stop was, what direction they had to go to, generally what direction they had to go to, because some of them aren't perfect, like 2 and 3 isn't a direct location, but just a kind of a general thing. So just kind of my example, I would have Beagle start right here, and at his first stop, his car breaks down, so he has to get it fixed, and that's just a little car dealership in my town, and then he would go grab some lunch. He would then go to this little museum in my town to learn more about our town, and he'd pick up a postcard while he's there, but because he's an imaginary friend, he has to go to school to learn how to write. And then once he learns how to write, he goes to the post office and sends his card to Alice, who is not his imaginary friend, his real friend. So that is the artifact for that activity that I would have my students do. And again, I would love to have them share it with working with another school, maybe across the country or something, just to give students an idea of what kinds of activities and places there are throughout the world that, or even throughout the country that Beagle could go to. So the other 4 books I read, Snowflake Bentley is a really cute book about Wilson Bentley, who he captures pictures of snowflakes, and it's really cool. It's actually just a biography about Wilson Bentley, who actually does take these pictures of photographs and these pictures of snowflakes, and people are kind of discriminating him for it, but it's actually a really cute book. And then the next one I read was The Glorious Flight. This is kind of a biography informational book about Louis Blairoid. I apologize if I mispronounced that, but he was the first person to fly across the English Channel. So it just kind of outlines his story. The Hello Goodbye window is a really cute book. It kind of just goes into the relationship with your grandparents, and how this little kid has this really great relationship with their grandparents. It's a really cute story. And then the last book I read was Grandfather's Journey, which talks about this one child. His grandfather was a Japanese American, and his journey of coming to America and kind of relating it to his own life as well. So those were all the books that I read this week. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.